Early morning, a velociraptor moves stealthily through a foggy forest edge, bordering human settlements. Close-ups of the raptor's sharp eyes as it observes a human construction site focusing on a dropped wrench and hammer. In the quiet hours of dawn, the world is on the cusp of an extraordinary shift. Dinosaurs, once thought to be driven by instinct alone, now exhibit an intelligence that defies expectations. Dr. Mara, watching a live drone feed. It's not just scavenging anymore. Look how it studies the tool before moving on. Scientist #1, skeptical. It's just random curiosity, right? They can't possibly understand its purpose. Dr. Mara, grimly, maybe not yet. A velociraptor cautiously picks up a stick and uses it to nudge a fallen branch blocking its path. Another raptor watches, then mimics the action. Curiosity gives way to experimentation. With each movement, the raptors edge closer to unlocking a new way of life. Security officer, over radio. Are they learning? One figured it out, and now the other's copying it. Dr. Mara.
This is the kind of behavioral evolution we've only seen in apes, and now dinosaurs. They're not just mimicking, they're observing and applying what they've learned. If this continues, we could be witnessing the dawn of a completely new kind of intelligence.
Raptors work together to push a large log, using it as a makeshift bridge over a narrow stream. They exchange low growls and head tilts, signaling their intent. What begins as individual learning becomes a coordinated effort. These creatures are not only intelligent, but also highly social. Scientist 2, nervously. Teamwork like this, it's strategic. They're using tools to solve problems. Dr. Mara.
This isn't survival, it's ingenuity. They're reading each other's cues, adjusting their actions as they go. This level of coordination suggests not just intelligence, but a capacity for planning. If they continue refining these behaviors, we may be looking at the early foundations of a structured society.
Raptors pile stones against a low fence, testing its strength by leaning against it. One raptor wedges a stick between two stones, creating a lever to shift a heavier rock. The evolution of thought becomes evident in their actions. Simple constructs emerge, primitive yet undeniably intentional. Security officer. They've figured out leverage. That's not instinct, it's planning. Dr. Mara.
They're builders now. This changes everything. We're witnessing a leap in cognitive ability that rivals the earliest human ingenuity. If they understand the mechanics of leverage, what's next? Structures? Traps? We need to consider the long-term implications of a species capable of engineering their environment.
Close-ups of claw marks forming geometric patterns on tree bark. Raptors arrange sticks in deliberate shapes, which other raptors inspect and respond to. From tools to symbols, the raptors display an ability to communicate beyond vocalizations. Each mark, each shape, is a step toward a new language. Scientist 1. Are those symbols? Could they be marking territory or sending messages? Método. Dr. Mara, thoughtfully.
It's more than that. It's the birth of a written language. These marks aren't random, they're deliberate and seem to hold meaning. If they can convey messages to each other, we're looking at a new form of communication. This could lay, groundwork for a structured society, one where knowledge is preserved and shared across generations. Something is bigger here than meet the eye.
Humans discuss the sightings in a control room. Screens show raptors' growing activity. Outside, construction workers unknowingly disrupt the Velociraptors' territory. Security officer, we've got to intervene. They're not just animals anymore. Town mayor, let's not overreact. This is just unusual behavior. Dr. Mara.
unusual, it's unprecedented, and dangerous. They're not reacting on instinct anymore. They're analyzing, learning, and responding. If they view this disruption as a threat, we could trigger behaviors we don't yet understand. These aren't isolated incidents. They're patterns of escalation. If they continue to evolve at this pace, coexistence might not even be an option. We're at a tipping point, and ignoring it could cost us dearly.
Raptors use sharpened sticks to prod at electrical fences, eventually shorting out a section. One raptor wields a jagged rock, testing it against a tree trunk. Tools once used for survival now hint at something darker, an understanding of power and the means to wield it. Security officer. This isn't just adaptation, it's weaponization.
If they can make tools, they can make weapons. How long before they turn them on us? This isn't just problem solving anymore. It's strategic intent. They're understanding cause and effect at a level that makes them a genuine threat. We always assumed intelligence like this would evolve over centuries, not weeks. We need to consider the possibility that we're no longer the dominant force in this ecosystem. And if they're already this advanced, what will they be capable of tomorrow? Nobody can tell.
Velociraptors construct a rudimentary shelter from branches and leaves, positioning it strategically to shield against wind. They guard the structure, chasing off smaller animals. Shelter is the hallmark of civilization. What begins as a simple structure signals the rise of creators. Dr. Mara.
This is architecture. Primitive, yes, but undeniably purposeful. They've moved beyond instinct-driven behaviors into deliberate construction. They're not just surviving, they're innovating. This shelter shows foresight, an understanding of protection, and planning for the future. If they can master shelter building, what's stopping them from creating larger, more complex structures? We may be witnessing the early stages of societal development in a species that could one day rival us.
Raptors use tools to dismantle a surveillance drone, examining its components. A group of raptors gathers around the remains, seemingly deliberating their next action. Narration, voiceover. As the dinosaurs' intelligence grows, so does their understanding of their environment and the forces watching them. Scientist 2. They've taken apart the drone. What are they planning, Dr. Mara?
Not planning, strategizing. Look at how they're handling the components. They're studying them, learning how they work. This isn't just curiosity, it's a calculated effort to understand us. They've realized we're watching, and now they're figuring out how to counter us. If they can reverse engineer our technology, it could tip the balance. We've always viewed them as creatures of the past, but what we're seeing now could very well define the future. They're not just adapting to their environment, they're adapting to us.
A raptor looks directly into a camera, holding a stick shaped like a spear. Fade to black with ominous claw marks etched into a wall, a warning symbol. An ancient mind awakens, challenging humanity's claim to supremacy. The question is no longer what they'll do next, but how we'll respond. Dr. Mara.
They're not just survivors anymore, they're challengers. This is intelligence with intent, and intent we can't predict. If we don't act wisely, we won't just be defending our world, we'll be negotiating our place in theirs. And if they've come this far already, we may not have much time to prepare.